comics who don't actually, comics who are green engaging all the time. Like, remember that thing that happened?
Depression, we've almost
like, that was funny, right? Because, like, you don't have any material of your own. So what you're trying to do is literally just, like, point to things that happened so you laugh by remembering together. You're trying to create a collective bonding moment by just doing a callback. And it's basically, like, one step below, not even above, but one step below, like, what's the deal with airplane food? Okay? Ha! Bernie's mittens, right? AOC. Like, oh shit, that's so funny.
She was murdered!
Oh my god, they're not even laughing. Oh, that's so bad. Oh god, okay, this was so bad. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, never mind. I don't know if I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I can watch the rest of this.
Bernie is wearing mittens.
8 months, one more till him born.
And AOC is telling us she was murdered! And the media desperately, desperately, desperately wants to see a Republican civil war.
AOC literally raised $4 million for his state, by the way, while he was... I don't know. I was gonna...
Strange 4 months.
It's so bad. I mean, this is the worst clip I've seen so far. It's so bad. Oh, no, not the word bombing. Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, first I was going to say, imagine bombing this hard in front of a fucking group of people that paid, like, $100 and flew into Orlando to hear you talk. But instead I was going to flip that around and be like, motherfuckers bombing harder than a Syrian village under the Biden administration. But then I thought, you know, probably shouldn't say that. Just say I like inducing cringe to my chat, so I showed them this. Brother, do you think that maybe it's just that you're not his audience? I don't think he's trying to make liberal socialists laugh, ... Liberal socialists. Well, considering the fact that you're in my audience and you say things like liberal socialist, it means that maybe there is a unique group of individuals there. But the joke I was making is literally... that he's bombing in front of people that pay $350 to fucking see him, okay? Oh my god, I can't fucking type! Add us on the hunt. Wow, I guess you want Trump back? What is this? Oh, yeah. Earlier this morning, I tweeted about Biden's administration's record so far and some of the things that are very disappointing, or some of the things that are going to make them look bad in the eyes of the American people. Being paid to do terrible jokes to people. Politicians aren't funny people in general, but at least a guy like Obama is infinitely more funny with a dry humor than dork Ted Cruz. Congrats, Florida.
This video is legit more painful than anything I would ever willingly consent to in the bedroom.
Someone tell Ted he will never be as good as Trump. Yeah, like, they just won't. They just won't. Trump had it. Whatever it is something we can argue about.
The same birthday.
But Trump had it, and Ted Cruz does not. Ted Cruz is on the opposite end of the spectrum on the it factor that Trump has. Let's be fucking real.
Everybody can get immunized. We can have herd immunity everywhere, and we're going to wear masks for the next 300 years. And by the way, not just one mask, 2, 3, 4. You can't have too many masks. How much virtue do you want?
Dog, honestly, like, masks are good for you, especially for your family and the people around you. They don't need to see your fucking face anymore. Like, I don't understand why. Like, if I'm Ted Cruz, like, I'm happy that it's normalized to hide my face in public, okay?
On a signal. This is just dumb.
Yes. Ted has the same desperate energy as Donald Trump Jr. Abso-fucking-lutely, dude. Thank you. Exactly. You know how I always talk about, like, the fucking aura of weakness that permeates, like, this nervousness, this anxiety that fucking leaks out of every orifice of Donald Trump Jr. when he's talking? Ted Cruz has that exact same energy, but with, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, he has, like, a sense of confidence, though. Like, he overestimates his skills beyond what Donald Trump Jr. does. Donald Trump Jr. can only get to that. He can only be in front of a crowd because he's on coke. So you can still see the desperation. Ted Cruz, on the other hand, I feel like is unaware. He's nervous, but he's fucking unaware of how bad he actually is. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas, like, Donald Trump Jr. always knows he sucks. Like, he is aware of how dog shit he is. Ted Cruz, for some fucking reason, is literally not aware. It's great.
Hi.
I mean, it's fucking gauche to and cliche to fucking pull Family Guy references, but the Lewis 9/11 Family Guy clip is just literally the perfect example of how conservatives operate. Like, conservative speakers, okay? Gauche. Fuck you. Conservative speakers, they just hit the high notes. That's it. Okay? They hit the high notes. They just say, like, liberal bad, mask bad. Because not being aware worked for Trump, and he thinks it will work for him too. So the thing is, like, with Trump, though, there is outsider energy, and there's also, like Trump is entertaining. You know what I mean? He is, whether you like to admit it or not, someone you want to pay attention to, okay? There is a level of charisma, and he does appeal to the hogs, and he does a very good job with being a demagogue. Like, he is very good at mirroring the expectations of the crowd, right? Whereas, like, Ted Cruz is inauthentic when he's doing it. Like, you can tell, partially because Donald Trump, I guess, was shielded from the aristocracy despite being a part of, like, the elites for his entire life, being born with a silver spoon. But maybe because he's got, like, nouveau riche energy, you know? So he was never accepted amongst the elites. Whereas Ted Cruz and most other politicians, most other Republican politicians, are accepted amongst the elites. Do you see what I'm saying? Most politicians are still accepted amongst the elites because they use dog whistles, and they have always used dog whistles, whereas Trump never did. And he's the type of dude to fucking tweet out about, all of the elite society parties that he wants to go to that he's not allowed into.
This is when you turned the Med Cruz.
Dude, his daughter wrote the speech. He's being a good father using it. Yeah, I know. They just can't do it. Like, they can't. So many Republicans try to do it. Kelly Loeffler tried to do it. If you guys remember, like, Kelly Loeffler tried to do it in Georgia. It didn't work. Like, Tom Cotton and Josh Hawley are straight the fuck up elitists. Okay, these are people. Dan Crenshaw, like, these people who went to Tufts and then got, an MBA at Harvard. If you go to Stanford and Harvard and then turn around and be like, well, I'm actually such a I'm actually such a salt of the earth kind of guy. You don't understand. Like, the fuck are you talking about, dude? I hate these liberal institutions. It's like, dude, you literally graduated from every single liberal institution. Okay? Like, Ted Cruz is a debate club nerd, okay? No matter how many fucking snakeskin boots he puts on, no matter how big his fucking belt buckle is, ultimately, Ted Cruz is a debate club nerd who thinks he's doing a great job. And unfortunately, Republicans still eat that shit up, I guess. It's because you're allowed to still be racist in those Ivy League schools. Guys, I'm not talking about like racism within liberal institutions, okay? Of course it still exists. What I'm simply stating is the culture that they so desperately try to cultivate that is anti-college or like anti-fucking Harvard or anti-liberal institutions is one that they themselves are absolutely a part of. Like, if you are going to say that, Harvard is a elitist institution and it's liberal, and there is truth to to that sentiment, then the fuck are you doing? Like, most of these guys are literally Yale, Harvard graduates. You know what I mean? Like how Ben Shapiro complained about his lib professors, but then turns around and brags about going to Harvard. Yeah, all the fucking time. Ben Shapiro is a great example of this because Ben Shapiro's father is a halfway famous violinist himself. He grew up in fucking Hollywood. He literally tried to penetrate the liberal Hollywood circles by putting together a fucking shitty ass movie, and no one wanted to buy it. So now he spends all of his time shitting on Hollywood, and he's still trying to make movies inside of Hollywood, but from a conservative POV. And it comes from a place of like not being accepted, and that's what I talk about all the time with Donald Trump too. Like, a lot of these conservatives, like, while the GOP and conservatives own most of the state legislatures in a really undemocratic capacity, where inequality is literally built into the structure of the Senate, where less than 40% of the country gets to have like a permanent majority almost, right? Where the Electoral College usually benefits the conservatives as well, regardless of the small minority that conservatives are in comparison to the general public, or how unpopular their ideas are, regardless of the fact that they have stacked the fucking courts with psychopathic judges within the Federalist Society, despite the fact that they have a fucking nearly permanent supermajority in the Supreme Court of the United States, they still want that final fucking element of acceptance from Hollywood. That's why they constantly focus on the culture. That's why they're constantly crying about the fact that Mr. Potato Head is now non-binary or some shit. That's why, because they want their bigotry to be manifested through every outlet, even from cultural entities or organizations that dictate what we see and what we consume. Anyway. Okay. But it's probably not going to happen because a lot of great art is created by degenerate freaks, but not in degenerate freaks in the way that like these guys are, but like degenerate freaks in the nice way. And a lot of great art is created by people who are literally oppressed, and as a consequence of the oppression that they are subjected to in their personal lives from the literal fucking bigotry that these dipshits try to normalize. So, of course, they're not going to be fucking open-minded to conservatism. And of course, they're going to shit on conservatives regularly. And of course, that's why like culture and art is still going to be progressive and therefore have a liberal or even leftist in some circumstances leaning. Anyway. Okay. Did you watch Amend? What do you think about it? I have no idea what you're talking about. So people like Ted Cruz should teach at art schools in order to generate enough hatred to make really fantastic art? No, people like Ted should actually actually fucking experience real struggle and real oppression, and maybe from those life experiences, maybe then they could create some real fucking art. You know what I mean? But if you're a conservative, you're desperately seeking oppression where no such oppression exists, right? So it's a little difficult for you to genuinely create something meaningful and then that's worthwhile that other people want to consume.
Yee.
Okay. By the way, I forgot to run this, but it's top of the fucking hour every hour. It's time for a 60-second ad break, as always. First one of the day, boys. First one of the fucking day, boys. Top of the fucking hour every hour. It's time for a 60-second ad break. If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free with your Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. You get one free Prime. You can try to use the ad blockers, but the reason why you're getting fucking purple screens of death over and over again is probably because Twitch tweaked their fucking, ad blockers, I guess. So, that's one of two ways of avoiding the ads. Here's the ad now. Okay.
They're saying
4 months, let's go.
When Joe said that Trump in a debate, he was the Democratic Party and he's not whipping his party. Oh yeah, don't even get me started on that. We're going to get to that in a little bit. I did see the Pokemon info from this morning. It looks pretty fucking cool. I'm excited.
I remember there were reports that riots were going to come into suburban, mostly peaceful, fiery, but mostly peaceful. There were reports riots were going to come into the suburbs. I got to tell you, in Houston, where I live, there weren't any rioters. Because let's be very clear, if there had been, they would discover what the state of Texas thinks about the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms.
Yo, I'm sorry, but like this whole posturing that like Texas is this fucking big beefy boy that's willing to take on and ready to take on every fucking task was kind of defeated when we saw what happened when the state of Texas experienced below 32 degrees weather. Okay? And same could be said for fucking California too. Okay? Like if California had weather conditions similar to Texas, our infrastructure would not be able to fucking handle it. Okay? But like, shut the fuck up about this like Texan independence when that very same independence, because you did not want the federal government to tell you like, oh no, some of your surplus energy is going to go to other states now. We have to regulate it to help. And in times of need, we will give you some of the other state's surplus energy is partially the reason why so many fucking people died in Texas. So I'm sorry. I don't want to fucking hear about this whole like, oh yeah, we'll show you what Texas is. Bitch, Texas was 32 fucking degrees, below 32 fucking degrees. And you ran out to fucking Cancun, okay? You flew out to fucking Cancun. So shut the fuck up about like, oh, what the fuck? We'll show what Texas does to you, motherfucker. Like what? Well, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Truazon had nothing to do with the infrastructure that your average Texan couldn't control. Good one, bud. I literally just said that. I said that. I straight up just said that. But this notion that like Texan independence... this notion of Texas independence is like a valid position is fucking silly, okay? You need to be a part of the larger federal government and you need to be a part of the fucking collective. I typed it before you said it, then why'd you press enter, dipshit? It was like 7 degrees during the ice storm. Okay, yeah. I don't know who the fuck is voting for this guy. I just don't understand it. It makes me very mad, and it makes me so mad that sometimes I sound like fucking Don. Okay? I don't know who the fuck is voting for this guy. Also, shooting protesters is literally un-American, but that's besides the point because in Ted Cruz's like hoorah dipshit worldview, like if the protesters are black, you can shoot them. That's what he thinks.
Immortal words of William Wallace. Freedom! In the
Oh God, he's so fucking bad. The Cpac speaker is now pushing the big lie by the 2020 election. Oh, hell yeah.
1,130 criminal convictions for vote fraud. No, not accusations, not indictments, but criminal convictions. 1,130 of them. So don't tell me that vote fraud is just some right-wing hallucination. The November 2020 election was a nightmare. Judges and other officials made last-minute rule changes that only state legislators were authorized to enact, as the U.S. Constitution requires. 1,001.
Hell yeah. Cpac is now hosting an entire panel discussion to push lies about the 2020 election being stolen from Trump. Fuck yeah, dude. I love that.
Roy set it up for us perfectly. If we had actually followed those principles, we wouldn't be sitting here today talking about an election that none of us can wrap our heads around. And we're going to talk about the how, but before we do, let's find out what happened. Why didn't the judges, why didn't the media, why didn't they look at all this evidence that was collecting everywhere? Roy set it up for us perfectly. If we had actually followed those principles, we wouldn't be sitting here today talking about an election that none of us can wrap our heads around. And we're going to talk about the how, but before we do, let's find out what happened. Why didn't the judges, why didn't the media, why didn't they look at all this evidence that was collecting everywhere?
Free eagle to travel to Cancun when Texas go cold.
Roy set it up for us perfectly. If we had actually followed those principles, we wouldn't be sitting here.
Evidence. It's evidence that for some reason even fucking even Newsmax and the OAN can no longer state, by the way. All of that evidence, but for some reason, all of that evidence, they have it so much of that evidence, and yet literally the fucking outlets that ran with that and like brainwashed everyone into believing it because they wanted to believe it so desperately, no longer can say it and have like literal sheets of talking points that lawyers gave them so that like any one of their psychopathic guests bring it up, they have to straight the fuck up like shit in their pants and read out the lawyer notes that they have in front of them to say like, oh no, we have no evidence, we were lying, sorry about that.
Reports and data it was looking at. That's just absolutely wrong. It was in the expert report, and our expert was deposed in cross-examination by one of the main partners at Perkins Coie. It is hogwash to say that we didn't give him that information. And the next thing that USA Today, the fact checker, did was read the court's opinion and say, well, the court disagreed with this, so it must be false. Again, we get back into this circle of disinformation.
Okay.
Broadcasting these speakers, we want to provide you with that. It does not mean that we necessarily believe or support all of.
Remember what I just said? Remember what I said? That evidence is so fucking good that like literally every time it's mentioned, every fucking right-wing outlet starts sweating bullets and has to read a legal disclaimer. Where's your fucking evidence, dog? Even Right Side Broadcasting. Dominion should sue the fuck out of Steven Crowder, okay? I think he's like one of the last remaining places that is like consistently advocating for this bullshit.
3 different states, 42,000 votes, 45,000 votes, something like that, and we would have had an electoral college vote of 269 to 269.
There's a lot of sensitive topics that are being talked about right now. We want everyone to do your own research in regards to what they're talking about in this discussion right now, anything with the election or anything like that. So it's important to do your own research. I know there's several outlets here that are able to completely broadcast all of this content for you with any disclaimer at all, but unfortunately here at Right Side Broadcasting, we must jump in here and put a small disclosure that we want you to do your own research, and it's very important that you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just quickly, although we are broadcasting these speakers, we want to provide you with that. It does not mean that we necessarily believe or support all of their beliefs of every single speaker.
Do your own research, but also, you know, we're legally obliged to fucking tell you that, you know, our research is wrong and faulty. And what you're hearing right now is literally fucking a lie that we Legally cannot tell you, or else we will get sued out the fucking wazoo.
We're talking today, so make sure that you research everything. You talk to your healthcare physicians, whether it's regarding COVID or medical information, and if it's election related, just look it up. Look everything up, and we are just not endorsing any speakers for the event. Again, we are simply...
Oh, that's so good. Oh, fuck, that's so fucking awesome. Like, this is so spicy. This is just excellent spice. I don't think my typing is that fucking slow. Fuck you, okay? Is it that slow? I think that last time was all right. Like, that last time was all right. It wasn't that slow. Sometimes it's slow, though.
Do you do that, you? Cause I do my own research.
Have you ever seen a normal person type?
Merchinsky with MAGA hammocks, and we've been doing general hammocks for several years. But during the impeachment last year of President Trump, or I guess now almost, 2 years, but last year, it was just...
My man is rocking a fucking hammock in his chin.
How much do we
okay?
have to donor for you to take a typing
What's going on here is just as you know that's a chin hammock for him, I guess. That's what he's doing. Here is my chin hammock. I'm selling a regular hammock for your butt.
Just so frustrating how unfair the process was and how much hate President Trump had been getting. So I decided, let's create a special hammock as a gift for President Trump. And so that was the creation. And the response to that, where people wanted it for themselves, led me to think maybe there's a market for MAGA-themed hammocks in general. And that led to chairs that say fake news. Deplorable.
Dude, it's so sad, dude. Who the fuck buys this shit? The only reason why I have, like, cringe liberal shit, the only reason why I have, like, super cringe liberal bullshit is because you guys buy it and then send it to me, and I hate it, okay? But, like, outside of that, fucking, why would you ever go out of your way to buy something with, like, that says free speech on it or America First on it? Like, fuck me, dude. Who the fuck buys this while frantically looking on eBay for chud merch?
Free speech. And since the election, we now have MAGA again, Trump 2024, America First.
I mean, if you're a conservative, it's like very difficult for you to get into one of these anyway, so I don't know why the fuck you're buying it.
Save America. Where is Save America? Here it is.
I feel like the far righters are literally unhappy all the time. Oh no, it's definitely lucrative, dude. These guys will fucking buy anything.
Thanks, brother, for the content.
These guys will literally buy anything that has Trump on it. Like, they love Trump. It's beyond everything. Like, Trump is God. Oh, Madison Cawthorn, what is he saying? Madison Cawthorn is now lying about Democrats wanting to set up indoctrination camps in schools. Oh, fuck yeah.
Taxes, because people wanted to give away free tuition, because people want.
He's such a wimp, by the way. Like, he just sounds like such a fucking nasally little shit.
Los Santos
Democrats want to raise taxes, guys. Like, fucking
to try and buy votes. But you know, I believe that in this country we should push back on that. We as Americans must realize that our number one guiding principle is personal responsibility. We have to realize that
I don't know how he's still alive after he got bodied by some fucking CNN news anchor, to be honest. Like,
What happened?
I guess he hit E to respawn or something. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of, I guess he chose not to perma his character after that, but kind of weird that he did that, you know? It's a little fucking, it's a little weird.
Happens in our country when the government comes and tries to come to our aid and raise us up. If you have a government that is strong enough to fix all of your problems and heal all of your woes, then my friends, you have a government that is also strong enough to one day take away all of your liberties. And as conservatives, it is our mandate to limit that power of government, to make sure that our liberties stay intact. Because my friends, let me tell you, when I look at what's going on in this country, when I see that they are trying to silence us.
It's literally Kevin Whippaloo, dude.
Shout out to Noah.
They are trying to take away our right to be able to defend ourselves. They're trying to make us become dependent on the government. They're trying to have indoctrination camps of schools. And the way they're trying to make us dependent on the government is through trying to say they want to get rid of all our student loans.
How do you come to terms with this? How do you come to terms with Republican politics, or, you know, being a conservative? Well, in a room full of people who think like ADA compliance is government regulation and nanny state bullshit, and it's overreach. You know what I mean? I'm serious. Like, I will never understand it. Oh, you want me to be ADA? You want my business to be ADA compliant? That's nanny state. It's fucking nanny state, brother. I don't want that kind of overreach. They'd also have a healthy enough population to resist government overstepping. Conservatives are protecting my right to be in medical and school loan debt forever. Freedom never looked so good. You come to terms with it by suing your friend's father for $30 million and trying to become rich off insurance claims. Multiple House and Senate members said that they couldn't attend votes because of district emergencies, then went to Cpac. This includes Cawthorn. Oh, yeah, I know. Americans living plush lives of privilege probably have a hard time understanding that work sets one free. Jesus Christ. He has a lot of nerve talking about student loan forgiveness when he never even finished undergrad. I don't understand. If you want debt forgiveness, why don't you just start? Why don't you just start a successful? Why don't you just start a fake realtor company months before you run for Congress as a 26-year-old? You know, by getting a nice little loan from your friend's father or yourself. I don't get it. Like, why? Just don't even finish college. Like, who cares? Just run for Congress and, you know, start a realtor business that's fake, but, you know, it looks good on paper or something. Conservatives just don't realize that they're the biggest cucks in the political spectrum. Yeah. Yeah, you should be happy that we skipped over Rick Scott, the human lizard. Okay. So, you didn't get to, oh, fuck. Okay, here it is.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Cpac. How you doing? Didn't anybody tell you that you're supposed to be canceled? You didn't get the memo. You're supposed to ask permission before you came here today.
How many times will these?
It's great to see you.
Cancel culture.
Yeah, you guys are such badasses, right? You're at the Cpac.
Just tell you, speaking of being canceled, the last 6 weeks, the radical left, their corporate allies, the liberal media, have tried to cancel me, censor me, expel me, shut me down, stop me from representing the people of Missouri, stop me from representing you. And guess what? I'm here today. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm not backing down. Not a chance. Not a chance. And neither are you, am I right? You're not going to back down. You're not going anywhere. I just want to say to those people who say to us, oh, you're the past. Your moment has passed. It's over. It's Joe Biden's America now. I just want to say, we're not the past. We're the future. We represent the future of this country.
Conservatism is literally antithetical to being the future, okay? It is regressive. That's at the heart of conservatism.
We're going to back down. We're not going to back down to the woke mob. We're not going to back down to the cancel culture. We're not going to be told what we can say or do. But listen, we've got to be honest, and we got to face the challenges that are in front of us. And I
love when the guy who went to Yale Law School and Stanford is talking about being a fucking, salt of the earth conservative who hates elitist liberals.
We're facing a fight for the republic itself, and we are facing an unprecedented alliance of radical liberals and the biggest, most powerful corporations in the history of the world. They are standing together. You know who I mean. People like Google, Facebook, have you heard of them? Twitter. These companies have more power than any companies in American history, and they're allying with the radical left to try to impose their agenda on this country. They want to run this country, and if we don't do something, they are going to. And we've got a word for that. It's called oligarchy. And that's what we're facing in America right now. And we've got a basic choice. We can have a republic where the people rule, or we can have an oligarchy where big tech and the liberals rule. And that is the choice. That is the challenge that we face today. It's a perilous moment. We have to stand up and take our stand on the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Independence, because last time I checked, the Declaration of Independence said that our inalienable rights to life and liberty come from God and not from government. Is that right? I mean, am I forgetting something? And I also thought, last I checked, I thought that the Declaration said that our rights come from God, not from Google. Is that right? I mean, last I checked. But that's the fight of our time, to make the rule of the people an actual thing again, to restore the sovereignty of the American people. You know what? That's always been the fight. That's the fight of liberty. That's been the fight of liberty since the beginning of human history. You've always got a small group of people who think they know best, and they ought to be in charge, and they ought to be able to tell us what to think and do. And today, that's the big corporations and the liberal elites. That's the oligarchy. And what are we fighting for? It's the same thing our founding fathers fought for. We're fighting for the rule of the people. We're fighting to be able to have our own say.
Totally.
We're fighting to be able to run our own government. We're fighting to have real self-government in America. And that's what we're about. You know, you can see where the oligarchs want to take us. Just look at the last 2 months. The last 2 months.
Straight up
the
oligarchy.
Big tech corporations have deplatformed conservatives left and right, shut them up, shut them out, shut them down. Heck, they censored the President of the United States. If they can censor him, they can censor any American citizen. And I've got my own experience with this, unfortunately. You know, on January the 6th...
This guy scares the fuck out of you? He shouldn't. He is so bad at, like, the fake populism that only, like, dumbass fucking post-left leftists are the types of people who say, like, he's got a lot of good ideas. Real fucking salt-of-the-earth conservatives, like, they hear him say, you know, oh, he's banning Facebook, I'm on board. But, like, they can smell the Stanford education off this clean-cut dipshit, okay? He's too much of a fucking dork. He's way too much of a fucking dork. He literally looks like the default FBI G-man guy, okay? Way too fucking clean-cut. No fucking way. He comes across as like Kelly Loeffler LARPing as a fucking racist person, more racist than she actually is. Yet Ben Shapiro's as popular as he is. You think if Ben Shapiro tried to fucking run for a position, he would win? No, motherfucker. Being popular on the internet is entirely different than actually running for a seat and like winning. Especially against like better opposition who can primary you. No way. Okay? Look at Sargon of Akkad. Look at Cenk. You shouldn't run then? I don't know why you think that's a fucking own when I literally use that as an example as to why I should not run. Isn't a Christian conservative basically an oligarchy? Am I wrong? He's like the hello fellow kids meme who he just doesn't seem right. Yeah.
They canceled a book I was writing called The Tyranny of Big Tech. These people have no sense of irony. Still going to get published, by the way. It'll be out soon. Not long to wait. They did all of that. It didn't work. But listen, that's just a slice of what they've done. A lot of people have had it a lot worse. I mean, they made lists of Trump voters. You know this. You can find online. List of Trump voters. So
this guy. No offense. We could run you in the most liberal part of the country and you would lose to a Republican. You supported 9/11. I supported 9/11. You fucking idiot. I supported 9/11. Is that what you unironically believe? You think I thought 9/11 was good? Why the fuck are you in here? Watching a 9/11 supporter then, you fucking moron. What the fuck does that say about you? I should ban you right now for literally being okay with watching someone who thinks 9/11 was good. That says more about you than it does about me, dumbass.
I welcomed her on November the 9th, so she's just over 3 months old. Thank you. So we're really interested in sleep. I can tell you, the Hawley household, we care about sleep.
This guy right here.
My wife knew of this gal, Cara DeMoplin, who had an Instagram online thing where she counseled people on how to get their babies to sleep. It was great. She had like 4 million followers. What happened? She supported Donald Trump. So what did they do? They came after her. Tried to shut down her accounts, tried to run her out of business. I just heard this morning, that a Christian worship leader at a church
get him, Fizz. Sorry, I didn't recognize it. It was clear
who has
bait.
worship albums he put out. He just got a call this morning from his corporate distributor, and they told him they're not going to distribute his next album. What was his sin? He supported Donald Trump in the election. This is what corporate America and the radical left is doing. This is what they're doing left, right, and center. And they're going to keep on doing it unless we do something about it. Now, the real question is, how do we get here? How do we get to this point that these oligarchs, these massive corporations in hock with the left, can do what they're doing? And you know the answer to that. The answer is that the policy experts in Washington, D.C., and the elected officials there for decades on end have let them do it. They have given them the...
Josh Hawley does fake populism against big libtard tech giants. Why does he hate big libtard tech censorship? Because big libtard tech censorship is attacking conservative ideas by not platforming them aggressively enough. This guy is from the Peter Thiel school of thought. He fucking loves big tech when they line his pockets, okay? It's all bullshit. They choose a fake enemy to make it seem like they're doing something for the people, and they recognize that there's 65-plus-year-old audience of morons that tweet like they're fucking actual bots or tweet psychopathic conservative agitprop that is harmful as fuck and a clear violation of the terms of service on the platforms that they're on. He recognizes that, like, they don't know the distinction between, like, abiding by the terms of service and, like, government censorship. So he's just making it seem like he's anti-fucking big tech. And some of the dumbass post-left leftists in here think that he is being genuine and sincere in his hatred for corporations when he's a Republican politician. If you recognize that Democratic politicians love corporate sponsors, then why the fuck do you think conservatives are ever genuine when they say we hate big tech censorship? Okay? He's just trying to desperately cultivate a following. He recognizes that, like, left-wing populism is a successful way to do that. Tucker Carlson does it every goddamn night. But you are defending U.S. oligarchy right now just because you are ideologically different? Wake up. What? I live in KCMO, and almost everyone I know hates Hawley. The state is a lot like Texas, where we have deeply blue urban areas, but the rest of the state is red. A lot of fuck Hawley bumper stickers around here. Yeah. No post-leftist thinks that, lol. No, we're not talking about post-left in the correct application. We're talking about post-left in the way that a group of leftists who, like, listen to fucking Jimmy Dore and certain podcasts call themselves fucking post-left. Shut the fuck up, anarchist dipshit, about what the appropriate measure for post-left is. I'm trying to use this in a contextual way, okay? Jesus Christ. Like, absolutely zero people care about your correct application of the term. You single anarchist, you. We got it.
illegal immigrants. Can I just say, by the way,
keep up the good work.
On that subject, just on the subject of immigration, ideas accessible to we get told all the time, oh, if you believe in a border, if you think that borders actually matter, if you think
we'll find a different name for it, okay?
Matters, well, my goodness, I mean, you're a bigot. You're backwards. Can I just try to enlighten our liberal friends for a second? We believe in borders because we believe in citizenship. And we believe in citizenship because we believe in America. Citizenship, where I come from in Missouri, I grew up in rural Missouri, small town right in the middle of Missouri. It's a working class town full of good folks working hard to make it every day. And I can just tell you, where I grew up, we believe in citizenship because we're proud of it. We're proud to be Americans. And when you come to America, you join a family. And in this family...
Guys, you don't understand. The son of a fucking wealthy banker who went to like the most expensive Jesuit school in Kansas is actually understanding of the working class because he decided he wanted to be a politician at the age of fucking 14, like a psychopath, like how most of these fucking sickos operate. Wrote for Peter Thiel's newspaper in Stanford and loves Peter Thiel. That's why he's against big tech censorship, but is funded by the guy who literally is a big tech guy, works for the fucking CIA through Palantir, and is one of the villainous libertarian billionaires out there who ended up destroying an actual fucking newspaper through his litigious anti-free speech, anti-free press agenda because he was fucking pissed.
All of that is false. All of that is a lie. America is not a perfect place, but it's a good place. More than that, it's a great place. It's the greatest nation in the history of the world. And part of standing up to the oligarchs in tech and in the media and the liberals is reclaiming our history and saying it is good, and we are proud to be Americans. We're proud to have lived in a country that started with nothing and became the greatest country in the face of the earth. We're proud to live in a country that liberated slaves, that liberated a continent that was under the thumb of Nazi dictatorship, that rebuilt the entire world after a world war. We did all of that. This nation did all of that. And are we perfect? Of course we're not perfect. It's like your pastor says at church. Have you heard this? He said, have you ever been to a perfect church? The answer, I haven't ever been. Maybe you have. The answer is no, of course not. Why? Because it's full of people. Every church is full of people. America's full of people, but it's full of good people. It's full of good people who continue to seek the light and continue to strive towards that more perfect union.
Yeah, dude. Friends, Josh Hawley totally would be an abolitionist, despite the fact that he is positioning himself as someone who is the modern day equivalent of the fucking pro-slavery people. But, whatever. He would be an abolitionist.
The liberty that our forefathers fought and died for, and we are going to make it real again in this day. We can do it. We can do it. It seems now in this moment like the oligarchs and their allies are so powerful. But the truth is that the strength of America is always in the unheard voices of its people all across this great land. The strength is in you. The strength is in us together. And I just want to close with a line I've thought a lot about, a quote from Daniel Webster, who in some trying years of his own that he knew, a trying time before the beginning of the Civil War, he used to end his speeches in the United States Senate by saying, "Union now, union forever." What he meant was that for those who said that America's time had passed, that the country was hopelessly divided, that it was irredeemable, sound familiar? He said, no, union now, union forever.
Oh, fuck, Kimberly Guilfoyle's going to introduce
America
Don
now,
Jr.?
America first, America forever. God bless you.
This gets my fucking pee-pee hard.
It's great to be with you.
Let's
Take
see what
care.
kind
Thank
of
you so
unhinged
much.
psychopathic bullshit he's going to come up with, dude. It's going to be fucking great.
Is more than an energy project. It's an attack the weak against the strong.
We as conservatives have ultimate faith in people.
This is Bethlehem.
the birthplace of Jesus.
Give it to God.
Fox
He
religion.
is doing this for a reason.
Fox
This
justice.
is about veterans as they see themselves.
This is one sick person.
There is a way to find justice.
At home with me, Paula Dean.
I show you how to be happy in a hurry.
Absolutely beautiful.
So we have a history. We should learn from the history.
I think the best way you can thank me for being a veteran
Fox history is just Trump saying history, dude.
Tear down this wall.
Here at Fox, we love history. I love history. Look, he loves history. Oh, this is back. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, we're watching it live now.
He's right back. Hello, America. Hello, American conservatives. My name is Genki Fuji. I'm a Japanese journalist and an author of more than 70 books on international relations. I run online world forecast news service.
Why does, when he say he's a Japanese journalist who wrote 70 books, the book that they show is not written by him?
Against Chinese communists.
Like, why did they show like a different book? They're like, this is a book. I did not write this book, but I wrote 70 other books.
I want to make US-Japan alliance stronger. I want to build a solid friendship with real American patriots or American samurai. Let's fight together for freedom. Let's slash the cancel culture. Let's start US-Japan.
You may not believe it, but a Japanese person
alliance.
can hate Muslims as much as you. What? Oh, you're not saying that to me. You're saying that to the Cpac.
Ladies
He's
and
saying
gentlemen, we are reigniting the spirit of the American dream with remarks by Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah, Donald Trump Jr. is coming up now. They show an American book. The other books I think in the background are Japanese, so they're like, you know, my books are in Japanese, so we put an American book here, so you know the Japanese books are just like American books.
Well, hello, Cpac. How are we doing, Florida? How are we doing, America? I have to tell you, I absolutely love the state of Florida. I mean, really, what's not to love compared to California and New York, right? I love this state. I love Governor DeSantis, and we all love all of you. And thank you for being here today and standing for conservative values and principles.
Oh, let's hear what kind of fascist bullshit she's gonna throw
Now,
our
in the
way
great
today.
state of Florida, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Well, not every day, maybe like 6 out of 7.
Isn't it kind of wild that like a person who is like reportedly literally so sexual that like she fucking sexually harassed her peers and people under her at Fox News, who used to date, you know, or I think was married to Gavin Newsom, the current governor of California, can be accepted within conservative circles so easily because she says the right things? Isn't that wild how that works? Like, conservatives love Kimberly Guilfoyle. And if she was still married to fucking Gavin Newsom, they would literally be calling her a sex pest and, you know, and slut-shaming her and shit.
The American conservative movement is fractured. They want America to believe that this movement is dead. Newsflash to those out there, we aren't going anywhere. It's the thousands of conservatives here today and the millions across this country who are not going to be silenced. And we are definitely not going to cede this fight to the socialists and the communists who want to see our nation burn. The fight for liberty, the fight for conservative values, and the fight for the heart and soul of this nation will not be abandoned. That fight continues right here and right now with all of us. And that's because the America First policies and programs, we're not going anywhere. This movement is not going anywhere. And I can promise you this. President Trump is not going anywhere. He is here to stay. That's the good news. We love President Trump, and I'll tell you, I will confidently say that President Trump from his desk at Mar-a-Lago will accomplish more for America in the next 4 years than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris could ever dream of. That is because we are not giving up. The Republican Party is being reborn thanks to President Trump. It is being reborn as the party of the working class, of minorities, of hardworking American men and women. The party of America First. The party of President Trump. And we bid a farewell to the weak-kneed, the spineless, and the cowards that are posing in D.C. pretending that they're working for the people. Let's send them a pink slip straight from Cpac. What do you say? We tell them that America has no use for them, and this movement is leaving those cowards in the ash bin of history, and we will strive forward thanks to the courage, the policies, and the strength of President Trump. Instead, we will chart a new path, a path driven by bold conservative solutions, a path where we don't kowtow to the demands of the leftist mob, and a path where we are willing to stand up and fight for what we believe in and what we hold true. From California to New York, we will fight to take back this country. However, to do so, we must do three important things. We must demand more from our elected leaders and officials and those that are actually pursuing public office. It is not enough to just be, quote, Republican. That means very little when they get to Washington, D.C., and they don't perform. We're not interested in those type of politician empty suits. We want fighters like President Trump, warriors for this country, for America. And our movement must stay true to America first. As the Democrats scurry to re-enter the corrupt Iran nuclear deal and cozy up to China, we must understand that the survival of our nation is based on putting the American worker and the American family first. And finally, we must take our message into every corner of our nation. America first means all of Americans, all of us united together as a country. Our ideas, our conservative values, and the solutions that we champion are the key to lifting up everyone in this country. As a movement, our message must transcend party lines, socioeconomic lines, and cultural lines. As one America we put first. If we can accomplish that over the next 4 years,
no, I would not have sex with Kimberly Guilfoyle.
We will be winning elections. It will only be the start of what is going to happen because, yes, ladies and gentlemen, the best is yet to come. God bless Cpac. God bless Madam Mercedes Schlapp and the entire team. Your family, the military, the veterans, law enforcement, first responders. God bless President Trump, and thank you, President Trump, on behalf of a grateful and humble nation. God bless this country, and ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the son of the greatest president this country has seen, a leader of the warrior MAGA.
Okay, I can't. It's too fucking cringe. He's so fucking greasy, dude. He's such a grease lord. Oh, God. I think right side broadcasting is better.
Wow! How's it going, Cpac?
No. Ja, ik steer hem, ja.
Or I heard someone earlier phrase it a little bit better.
T-Pac.
It's what it feels like.